Can a teenager make life-altering decisions for a 45-year-old raising a family? No. Now flip the script. Can baby boomers born way back in 1950s and early 60s decide the future of Gen Z?
मैं किसी 56 साल के नौजवान की बात नहीं कर रहा.
The irony is hard to miss when the Prime Minister takes a dig at the age of his political rival. By 2030, Prime Minister Modi himself would be 80 years old, and in the same year, opposition leader Rahul Gandhi would turn 60, officially the retirement age for the salaried working middle class in India.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with asking these questions.
And these two very senior politicians are fighting a political battle to decide the future of India's youth. Youth who faced police batons and tear gas on the streets of Delhi on July 20. So how did India reach here? And who benefits from the status quo? And what happens if nothing changes? The Prime Minister in his first term defended selling pakoras or fritters as meaningful employment.
हजारों लाखों करोड़ों युवा जो स्वरोजगारी की दिशा में आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, पकोड़ा बना रहे हैं.
If you are below 25 years today, then it's not your fault if you were unaware. But 8 years later, India's chief economic advisor says that MBA era is over. And he adds that if you are a plumber or a carpenter, it's not considered fashionable. Technically, both the Prime Minister and his economic advisor are right. No job is lesser. But somewhere, these statements also highlight the disconnect between the thinking of India's ruling elite and the aspirations of middle-class students. A new IT employee today gets the same salary as 15 years ago. And no, that's not inflation adjusted. 3.25 lakhs per year in 2011, 3.75 lakhs today. India Inc. simply forgot to raise salaries, while inflation and cost of education skyrocketed. It's indeed a fact that some pakoda stall owners make much more money than many white-collar workers in India. Whose fault is it? Did middle class not study all these years? Or Indian industrialists acted as rent seekers, political mediation substitutes for market discipline? I'm not saying this, it's in government's own document from this year. Narendra Modi promised maximum governance, minimum government. Do you think that has happened? It said that today's opposition is tomorrow's government in waiting. Similarly, today's ministers were once opposition leaders. But the ruling party has not only established pan-India dominance, but also absorbed large chunks of opposition leaders in its ranks. And don't be surprised, many of them are second or third generation leaders. So leaders in power today either belong to an era that India's Gen Z knows little about, or they are simply dynasts who inherited the business of politics. India's middle class and Gen Z never had a chance. There are few political avenues for Gen Z to either platform their concerns or to simply join the politics and decide their own future. Power structures still favor those with a political heritage. For decades, the formula was simple. Study hard, get a degree, get a job, buy a house, raise a family and move up. But Gen Z don't seem to have that luxury. Even hundreds and thousands of millennials who were now middle managers have faced job losses when they expected to save some money. Governments are failing to hold clean exams. There is no urgency to fill government posts. And billionaires of the world are informing job seekers that the days of a 9-to-5 job are over. We all know what happened in China with the lying flat movement. The government there got rattled when many youngsters decided to lie flat. That is when they refused to struggle for a better life. Isn't it disheartening that so many protesters at Jantar Mantar themselves want to secure government jobs while absorbing batons from the police of the same government? What does it say about India's colleges and education system? A clear lack of imagination. What does it say about India's employment scene? Not very encouraging. A large part of India still desires services that the British created. Why? Because they see that that's the only way to secure their economic future. Even a poor house help knows that learning English could possibly secure her kid's future. But the ruling party has on occasions tried to portray English itself as a relic of colonial era because it suits their politics. Do you see the disconnect? The government has its own vision for India's youth, and nobody is asking what the youth want. A nation can and must set goals for future, but its youth cannot waste their time chasing opportunities in a black hole. Making reels is not full-time employment either. India is widely considered the youngest country in the world. 65% Indians are less than 35 years old. At last count, some 27% Indians are between 15 and 29 years old. Gen Z around the world have for years been portrayed as lonely and digital natives with little inclination to connect with the real world. But India's youth are showing a determination to overcome all the odds. CJP caught the imagination of India's Gen Z not just because of CJI's cockroach comment or Neet paper leak or even Sonam Wangchuk's fast. CJP struck a chord with India's Gen Z because they are worried that their future might not be very bright in a fast-changing world. So what happens if nothing changes? A generation that simply stops caring, the way China did when it chose to lie flat instead of fight. India's political class must not push Gen Z to that point. That would be worse than any protest online or on the streets. Is Gen Z right to worry about its future, or does this generation simply need to toughen up? Let me know in the comments. For more of India's economic and politics without this spin, subscribe to Global OPED and share this video. Until next time.